better as Anna. Better as Anna.
Hey, Skip!
Weaves, what's up? Oh, man, I always forget how tall you look on the mound.
You know what? It's so weird. Everyone always says that. I don't get it. It smells great, though.
Yeah. Hey, have you seen Mike anywhere? I didn't get his order.
Oh, Trouty? It's weird. I saw him like 5 minutes ago. He said he was going to come up and see you. That's weird.
He just stepped away for a second. God, where'd he go?
Hey, you know. The sound of a sizzling grill, though. Nothing better.
It almost sounds like the meat's screaming.
It does. What do you got under the hood, huh?
Oh, you're in for a treat. I got hot dogs, got steaks, got burgers.
Skip, that's
not a burger. It's Mike Trout! Get some water! Why, Mike? Why? Hey guys, listen up. Mike's just been traded.
I don't know a lot about sports, but I can drink a lot of beer.
My motto is simple. C's get degrees.
Need a long, inappropriate hug? I'm your man.
I think I'm smarter than you, because I probably am.
Howard Collins, the box score. Hello and welcome to the Box Score. I'm Brock in Los Angeles, joined by the Danettes in Milford, Connecticut. The boss was back in the chair this morning and he was talking baseball early on. Now, Paulie, did you heed his text on Sunday and turn over to the Dodgers-Mets game?
I did. I actually did for, I can't lie to you, less than 3 minutes. I checked what was going on. I thought maybe there'd be a no-hitter or dueling no-hitters. It was a nice game. Actually, it's been a good time for baseball. There's a lot of stuff going on. There's some good teams involved in the races. I've been watching a lot more than I did the first half of the season, which was 0, so it's got to be more.
That's an improvement. Well, with the Hall of Fame inductions taking place this weekend, you had inductee John Smoltz on the show today, and he gave a little behind the scenes, says there's actually some hazing going on behind that ceremony.
So you got hazed at the Hall of Fame?
Oh, yeah. It was, I'm sure if they could have found an accordion, we'd have been there all night till I played a few tunes on the accordion. They sang "Roll Out the Barrel" when I walked up to get my ring, and so they were having fun with it. I kind of felt bad for Pedro and what the greatest pressure of anybody had to go up there and do what he did in the speech with his country and speaking a second language. To try to deliver a speech, and let me tell you, they let him have it afterwards in a good way.
Why were they giving? Who was giving Pedro grief?
Oh, everybody. Oh, you just know to expect it. That was some of the tips I got from Maddox and Glavin. Just take it, roll with it. They were asking if he could speak Dutch next year.
I love those stories and the whole accordion thing. I had seen something in the research as a little kid that he was playing the accordion, or his parents taught him how to play the accordion. But when you get that, get the behind-the-scenes stuff, and he put on a wig to kind of take the power away from Greg Maddux before he would tease him yet again about his being bald over the past several years, and just hanging out. And Dan knows how to get those side stories out of these guys. What was going on, backstage before you came out for the interview. Smoltz saying that he was more nervous yesterday than he was any time ever on the mound. That's the great stuff. It's one thing to have one of the Hall of Famers on that was just inducted over the weekend, but then taking it to that next step and going through some stuff with him that are more personal and not just about stats and Cy Youngs and what he accomplished as a starting reliever. That's where it's fun.
Well, it was quite a lineup there at the Hall. Seton, if you had Smoltz, Pedro, and the big unit in your rotation, who's going 1, 2, and 3 on that?
Jeepers creepers. I almost feel like I'm pre-programmed at this point to put Smoltz third because that's where he had it. I'm like, how do I argue with John Smoltz and not go? He went Pedro, unit, and then Smoltz.
It's weird though, but Smoltz is a way better postseason pitcher.
Yeah,
noticeably better postseason pitcher.
But the thing with Pedro that I keep thinking about, I think of Randy Johnson struggling in New York, which wasn't really cool. Pedro had the whole "Yankees are my daddy" thing,
and the
so
Zimmer,
that's like
and
a big.
The Zimmer
there's really nothing with like John Smoltz performance-wise that you can argue with.
No, his career is fascinating because he had Tommy John, and then he comes back as a reliever, and he was the best reliever in the game for 3 years. And he said, "All right, I'll switch back now." I mean, it's I don't think he gets enough credit for that, but I think that put him in the Hall of Fame. That if he doesn't get the Tommy John surgery and he just muddles along with 18 and 11 or 22 and 7.
And wasn't he drafted as a
maybe in the Hall
hockey
of Fame.
player at the beginning?
I have no idea.
I think he was like a late pick in the hockey.
No, I have no idea. But like for him to take his career, kind of make himself stand out from those other guys was tough because going to the bullpen.
I want to get back to this hockey thing, Todd. How is that relevant to what we were talking about?
No, I'm just saying, just the whole story of John Smoltz. If you take him his whole athletic career as a whole, that I'm pretty sure that before he, joined like the Braves and like the Tigers and all that, that he could have played professional hockey. I will have to check on that. I could be completely mixing that up.
Wikipedia.
There you have it.
Well, back to fact-checking, McLovin. You took a whiff on air when you were asked who the center fielder was that saved Cole Hamels' no-hitter. Did you ever figure that out?
Yeah, it's Odubel Herrera, and that explains.
my man.
That
Like
explains.
O''Double, and it's like double, like O-double, but he pronounces it Odubel, like he's Irish.
I'm actually guessing on the pronunciation. No, I don't think it's O' apostrophe like Shaquille O'Neal. I think it's just Odubel Herrera. And actually, I'm embarrassed, but I saw the highlights as we were talking about. And he kind of messed up completely on the ball. So he got a highlight out of a play that he shouldn't have. But I was mortified when Dan put me on the spot there. I'm like, oh my God, because I was doing something on the computer and I was sort of half listening to that call. That's the worst. I know you get it all the time.
Well, I think you get a hall pass for baseball because there's so many games to watch and so many players to watch. And I didn't see the no-hitter. I was at the beach. I missed every second of it. But
I'd be mortified if I didn't know the starting wide receiver for like Atlanta or something. But not knowing the center fielder for the Phillies is okay, right? In this day and age.
You're fine.
Well, we're all a little bit better for that. It wasn't long, though, before the conversation switched from baseball to online dating. Logical segue there. Fritzy, have you been on this site, farmersonly.com?
I have not, but I'm very familiar with the commercial. I don't know if my rendition of it was altogether accurate, but I do know, like, they're in the bar, and all of a sudden, a bunch of these farmers' daughters types, like in their plaid shirts and jean shorts and boots and cowboy
Or they
hats.
could be farmers. They don't have to be the daughters of farmers.
They could
They
be.
themselves.
It's 2015.
That's all it's
No, but I'm saying they have that look. They have the farmer's daughter look.
Let's not assume they're not out there with a combine.
No, but I'm not saying what they're doing on a daily, as far as what they do for a living or who they're related to. But I'm saying they have that look of what would be known as a farmer's daughter, having the whole that whole outfit that I particularly like so much.
All right. McLovin, I know you guys are all married, so we'll just do this as if you were trying to make your wife fall in love with you all over again. If you were to create a dating profile and present it to her, what would be the headline to make her fall in love all over again?
Andy Perloff, hell of a guy. That's really, I think it's all out
Your new
there.
best friend?
Yeah. No. Honestly, Brock, I think I did better in the real world than I would have done virtually. Because now, basically, it seems to me that you're basically just your picture on online dating.
It really goes no deeper.
I feel like I did better than my actual looks, because I had a killer rap back in the day. Like, trust me. You did not want your girlfriend to run into me at 1:30 a.m. on the streets of New York City.
Nice.
Because once I got talking, forget it.
Fine.
But online, I don't think I would have done as well.
All right, it's frustrating and sad, believe me. All right, coming up, Paulie got a special package at the Man Cave. How did it arrive? Of course, it was in the Ram 1500 Eco Diesel. Came there fuel efficiently. May even towed a boat or a trailer, who knows? It was a big package, a great big package from Indiana, I believe. Get more facts at ramtrucks.com. Guts, glory, Ram.
Ladies and gentlemen, small forward, Paulie Pants.
Ollie just walked
Ollie,
in.
it is Ollie. You look good.
If possible, I look whiter than I normally do.
You
also.
look like Ollie, who
And
was on the team.
I play more like Ollie than look like him.
We're back here in the box score. Paulie got one hell of a gift today. He got the Pacers alternate jersey inspired by Hickory High and the classic Hoosiers. Now, McLovin, Dan said Paulie looked a lot like Ollie in that jersey. You were a front row Joe for his free throws. Did his game emulate Ollie also?
Oh, yeah, his game is definitely all Ollie. And Paulie, I hate to, you kind of rejected. You're like, I'm not Ollie. Like, you totally reject that. But I actually Googled Ollie pictures. You do look a little like
yeah?
Ollie.
Okay,
yeah, there's a little Ollie. Like I think.
Yeah, short hair.
I think you have like too negative an image of Ollie because Ollie was like the.
Hey, Ollie got it done at the end. That's all that matters. It wasn't pretty. He got done. He's a competitor.
Yeah, ball game.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It wasn't pretty at the granny shot, but it went in.
Yeah,
and he did airball his first one, just like I airballed my first one.
Was there? Yeah. Is there a? You know the team like the back of your hand. You know. Is there a player that you think you're more like than Ollie? Could you make an argument?
Raid, the guy who wasn't listening to the coach and just jacked. You know.
Oh, yeah.
I just kind of like him. He went on to be a dentist. I thought that jersey was great. I'm glad that the shorts were regulation size and not Hoosier style, because I mean, I felt a little uncomfortable putting on at first. I was like, it's pretty loose and comfy. But if those shorts were the Hoosier style,
oh man,
those are. I looked it up. That jersey and shorts are XL. That means that's. I'm going to ask them if they will make us a small.
Wait, now, in reality, that is the one that George Hill wore.
That's the one he wore the other day in the press conference.
They don't have like duplicates of this ready to go?
They just announced this. They got George Hill's. The person who was handling this said, "We need one. We have to send that back today," and it's going back to them.
That's crazy.
They said we could get one down the road if they want, jerseys for the rest of the group. But I said they were going to send like T-shirts or something like that, and I said, well. That's okay, but we want the real deal and have one of those.
T-shirts like that one that you're wearing.
This
right
is
now?
not from them. This is from a different company in Indiana that sent this.
But, yeah, I don't want to go by your house and see all these.
There's a stack in the window.
Yeah, we need T-shirts.
Off a garage sale.
Well, let's do a fashion police here, Seton. Who wore the jersey better here? Take a look. Is it Paulie or George Hill? A little side by side for you.
Well, I'll tell you. I mean. George Hill looks like he's going to get caught watching the paint dry.
There you go.
And Paulie's ready to ball. So one person's here clearly in a defensive stance. I'm going to go with Paul Pabst.
Yeah, he looks like a model playing a basketball player. I look like a bad basketball player playing a basketball player.
Very well played. Well, one guy who knows a thing or two about playing basketball in the great state of Indiana is Hall of Famer Larry Bird, and he talked about one of his toughest losses at French Lick.
The dream was to always be able to be good enough to play in, sorry about that, play against the big schools. And that's what we try to do. We try to be good enough to maybe have an opportunity one day to play against a Crispus Attucks or Jeffersonville or New Albany. But unfortunately, I played with a kid that kept missing free throws at the end of the game, and we didn't get there.
Wait, was there a hack-a-shack going on with your team back then?
Well, with my point guard, he got a little nervous, and they knew it, so they started fouling him, and we just didn't make it.
You're not over it, are you?
Never. It's a loss is a loss, and a big loss.
This is one of my favorite interviews we've ever had on the show. He's so open and fun and loose. And serious at points, and then goofy at points, and jabbing back with Dan. It was just fantastic 15 minutes. And I've been to a Indiana basketball before. I'm a really big fan of Hoosiers in high school. I saw Damon Bailey play, and we had to buy tickets outside from a ticket scalper for a high school game. We had to pay $30 to get into a high school basketball game in New Albany, one of the schools he mentioned, Indiana. And the gym held like 4,000, and there's people standing all over the place, hanging from everything. It was fascinating. It was almost better than one of the better sporting events I've ever saw. It was a regular season midweek high school basketball game. But Bird was fantastic today, and a lot of people listened to that interview, and I sent it to a few people. I actually got a note back from Bill Simmons. He's like, wow, Bird. And then he asked for the link for it, and so it was really good.
I imagine the pressure of playing with someone like Larry Bird, and you're the player, like this kid that was missing foul shots that's bringing him down. He's got his eyes set on state championships and all that, and and you're playing with Larry Bird, and you're the one loser on the team not holding up the minimal end of the bargain just to hit a couple of foul shots in some key spots.
Stick around. The Danettes are going to do some battling mock headline style. Welcome back to Box Score. Guys, another weekend in the books, and if you were for some strange reason trapped under a rock, no TV, no phone, no newspaper, we got you covered with the top headlines. It's time for another edition of
Mock Headline Battle Royale.
All right, our first headline. Chris Froome wins the 2015 Tour de France. Paulie, start us off.
Froome roasted. The tour is over. The DP show is back on NBC Sports Network.
Wow. Great.
Very nice.
Roasted.
Seton.
Tour de cramps. Americans sick to stomach as Brit makes history. It's a little Revolutionary War humor. Not really.
McLovin.
Froome goes the dynamite. Explosive English racer wins another tour.
You're cooking early. Almost got it.
In the Bourg de France.
Fritzy.
Froome goes.
No Froome for error. The stage belongs to Chris.
Oh, the crowd turns.
That's a late reaction.
Headline number 2.
Silence, then a boo.
Reds trade Johnny Cueto to the Royals for 3 left-handers. Fritzy, it's all yours. Time for recovery.
Johnny on the spot. Cueto goes from Cincy to royalty. Kansas City Royals.
There's the applause. Thank you.
Smattering.
McLovin.
Johnny on the spot. Cueto will be a royal pain for opponents in uninspired headline.
Paulie, your headline.
Festering Royal. Cueto will be a disgusting skin ailment for AL foes. Festering Royal.
Kind of gross.
Lancet. Seton.
Lancet.
Way to go, Royals. You prove 3 lefts make a red.
The crowd all over that.
Royals. 3 lefts make a right. No, a red. 3 left-handers made a Reds player.
Third headline, Dodgers ace Zach Greinke's scoreless innings streak ends at 45.5. Seton, what do you got?
Greinke Panky, Zach whacked as scoreless streak comes to an end.
Paulie.
Smoking Zach. Dodgers Greinke hot for the Dodgers.
Oh.
Couldn't think of another word at the end for Dodgers, so I just went Dodgers.
Double Dodgers. Double down.
New Jack City. Fritzy, your headline, please.
50 Shades of Greinke. His streak may be over, but he's still one filthy pitcher.
Not afraid to word blue on the headlines. McLovin, your submission.
Zach Yaks. DeGrom is the bomb.
And Froome goes out of headline. Fourth and final headline. Phillies ace Cole Hamels throws no-no versus the Cubs. McLovin, you have the con.
Ace in the Cole. Phillies pitcher throws a no-hitter, but nobody gives a crap. Because the Phillies are bad.
Angry mob.
Yeah, wow. Fritzy.
Trade Magnifique. Oh, stop. Hamels time.
It's too legit.
Why did you say trade magnifique?
I liked both. I threw them both in, even though they have nothing to do with it.
It's some type of little knock in there.
What is hammer? Trade Magnifique and hammer. Definitely.
You can use that one, the France one. All right, Seton, your headline, please.
This is awful. Ace of bases. Cole saw the signs, and he kicked the Cubs behind. Cole saw the signs.
Gutsy?
Yeah.
It's like a 1993 nightmare.
Hamels time and Cole
saw the signs.
Paulie, let's have it.
Love Ace of Base.
Mean-spirited trading block Pretty Boy picks on long-suffering Cubs franchise.
Personal. Got personal there.
Did get very personal.
There's the applause. Well, this week's mock headline champion is Mr. Todd Fritz. Congratulations.
Whoa. It's been a while.
Thunderous applause.
Oh, he's back. The belt held high. All right, this is the box score, and we are taking a break to remind you that the Ram Heavy Duty, with its best-in-class towing, torque, and horsepower, doesn't need one. It holds the belt every day. Best truck ever. Best truck ever. World champion. Get more facts at ramtrucks.com. Guts, glory, Ram.
So we have a visitor in the studio later. Something's going on, I heard.
Oh, yeah.
I don't know what's going on.
Just a reporter coming by to do a profile on me. Big publication.
Oh, New York Times?
No, it's the Jewish exponent.
Say again?
Jewish exponent. Philadelphia's third leading Jewish weekly magazine.
So that's
Number
some
4.
kind of news
Third
publication?
leading Jewish weekly.
Not after this article, it'd be
Exponent.
second leading, right?
Yeah.
Welcome back to the Box Score. Closing up shop here at the Box Score Bar. A big day for one Andrew McLovin Perloff. He was the subject of an expose for a third-ranked Jewish newspaper somewhere in Philadelphia. How did that interview go for you?
I don't know. After the show, he had some alone time with Dan Patrick, and then he was looking at me funny when he goes back. So Dan told a certain version of how I came to be here, and I'm not sure that I totally saw things the same way, but I didn't know, like, do I play along with Dan's version of it,
Or give him the truth to a journalist trying to write a story for a major newspaper.
Well, the issue was, and he'll watch this obviously, did Dan actually come up with the name McLovin?
Oh,
See, I don't know for sure.
I really do think so.
I
Cause
thought it was a collaboration and Dan jumped on it.
No, what I remember is we went down there and we were in an office of one of the executives and they were bringing over editors to talk
Right.
to Dan. And I don't know if it was on the way home or the next day or a couple days later. He goes, I like the guy who kind of looks like he could be McLovin's uncle. And I don't remember when he said it, but I remember, and I don't know if I'm right, but I remember Dan saying it to us first.
Oh, I thought it was thrown out at the table and Dan goes, yeah, I like that, McLovin's uncle. But I can't remember.
Maybe. I thought Dan said
definitely,
it first.
he definitely has authorship of it. And he's the one who didn't let it go away when I begged him to.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Is there an answer you gave to this journalist that you think could come back to bite you if it makes print? Like where he said, what do you do for the show? Or what's your role? Or what do you think about whatever?
His first question to me was, so what was it like, so you played against Kobe Bryant a lot, right? I'm like, well, and then I was
Define
clear.
a lot.
Well, but I mean, if it was a yes/no question, your answer would be yes. I played against Kobe Bryant, right?
Yeah, I did. I told the entire
There you
story.
go.
Trust me, I tell that story every week about how I played against Kobe. I know it by heart
did.
at this point. But the funny thing was, too, Brock, just to give you a little insight, he came and he interviewed Dan for a while, then he interviewed me. But it's weird. I'm like, hey, you want to interview the Danettes? He's like, yeah, why don't we go, yeah. And he sort of meandered off into the corner alone and pretended he was doing something. So I'm going like, yeah.
I think he's got his article kind of written.
Yeah, it's like
one solid quote from Dan Patrick should take it home.
It's not a 4,500 word like Esquire profile.
I think you were even trying. You're like, you want to talk to this guy? And he kind of looked like he kind of half heard you. He's like, well, I spoke with Dan.
He did talk to us. It's just his pen and his paper are away, and it's mostly about him.
Yeah. He actually talked about the show. He's a big fan of the show. And the other thing was, he'd never quoted Dan Patrick in a Jewish Exponent story before. Dan has never been in the pages of the Jewish Exponent.
It's gonna happen
So that's
now.
a big deal.
Interesting.
Pretty exciting.
Can't wait.
Well, McLovin, you want to plug this article? Where can we find it? Can we get it online or anything like that?
Well, Brock, you're already a subscriber to the Jewish Exponent, so for you, it'll just show up at your doorstep.
Pretty much.
But we'll see. No, it's actually a big paper in Philadelphia. My family's got it for years. And when it comes out, I'll make sure that everybody who knows me will see a copy of it. So if you know me, sadly, you will get a copy. And I'm not talking like a social media link. Like, I'm talking hard copy.
Nice.
We'll be at your door, like
Love it.
hundreds and hundreds of hard copies.
I'm looking forward to it. I'm looking forward to who's on tomorrow. Fritzy, who's that?
ESPN NFL analyst Mark Schlereth will join us as we continue counting down the hours and minutes till we get the Tom Brady appeal verdict and preview the upcoming season. Someone's going to join us from Harvard.
What's his name again?
Someone?
Okay.
I think his name is Kyle or Kurt Bullard. But the more important thing is that he's affiliated with Harvard, and he's involved with the analytics that suggest that the Miami Dolphins are going to be going to
Harvard
the
University,
Super
Harvard
Bowl.
College?
I think it's a Harvard analytics company of some sort. I think it's related. They're related to Harvard in some way, shape, or form.
Kurt
And I think he also writes for the Crimson School
So
newspaper.
he's a student there.
He's a student, something like that. And he says the Dolphins are going to. And he really went out on a
Some type
limb.
of Harvard
He also went out on a limb
related
saying the Seahawks and Packers
We'll clear this all
will
up tomorrow.
dominate the NFC this season.
All right, very good. Thank you,
Weird that the guy
gentlemen.
didn't
We are back tomorrow. Audience Channel 239 right here on DirecTV. The podcast is available on iTunes or at podcast1.com. L'chaim.
I don't know a lot about sports, but I can drink a lot of beer.
My motto is simple. C's get degrees.
Need a long, inappropriate hug? I'm your man.
I think I'm smarter than you, because I probably am.
Hey, thanks for watching the Box Score. Holy cow!